It's a pleasure to talk to you about this film. I giggled like a little girl all the way through. I mean, it's just completely outrageous. But tell us a little bit about the characters. Obviously, Mugatu comes back in great form, and he is as fun as he has always been, hasn't he?
Yes, Mugatu has been in fashion prison for the last 15 years and is full of revenge and hate. I think, you know, we see a psychotic Mugatu who is very funny, but a little bit scary at times, which is thrilling, which probably led to your giggling.
I giggled
Yeah.
because of the
Like a
hair
schoolgirl.
mostly.
Oh, but like nervous giggles, right?
Yes, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
he is
Yeah.
intimidating.
I
Like,
giggle when I'm nervous.
he did
Yeah, yeah.
And she is also larger than life, and she
Yes.
glades through life. So tell her.
Yes, she. Her name is Alexandria Ataz, and she created the House of Ataz, which is like the biggest fashion empire in the world, and sort of tells everyone what's fashionable and trendy. And she's, as you can see, she's very nice. Just a natural beauty, beachy.
She was born this way.
Yeah, she was. She was born in that size.
Beachy. She's beachy?
She's beachy.
Is the comedy organized on a movie like that? Because it's all about, you know, the right tone for it. It's very funny, but there has to be a storyline to follow. So how organized is the comedy?
Very much so, only because, you know, you're also shooting with a limited amount of time. Each day was action-packed, so Ben had to really kind of do a lot of planning ahead of time, especially acting in it as well as directing. Yeah. So, you know, while we had moments to improvise, at the same time, once we kind of got the scene, we really moved on to the next chunk. But yeah, very organized.
And also because it took us so long to get ready.
Yeah.
We didn't really have as much time on set probably as other people.
Right.
Probably took a couple of hours for the teeth and the lips
Yeah,
to,
it was
to be
4.
right.
Yeah.
And that dog, oof,
Well, he just looks
Took
like
forever.
his
even though he's stuffed.
son. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you were to improvise, what kind of things do you usually improvise? That's the third part.
If we improvise?
What kind of things?
Yeah, well, what kind of things are appropriate to improvise on sets like this one?
I like to just like wink in the middle of stuff. Just improvise like a wink here and there.
And a lot of
Collage.
times it's unusable because Kristen will wink right to camera and you can't use that.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look right into the camera and I say, I'm really doing it.
Sometimes I will improvise, and once again, it never makes the movie, but I'll improvise magic tricks with my character. Like I'll pull a bouquet out, and then everyone will go, "Oh, that was so funny," but it makes no
can't use
sense.
it.
Like your character doesn't know how to do magic, you know. So I go, "Okay, fine, let's not have fun." So
Yeah, it is such a boring film
Yeah.
anyway, so that's,
Yeah.
you've achieved that.
yeah.
Tell us about filming it in Rome and how that added to the story and to the fashion atmosphere.
We were talking really about what's so great about Rome.
Is
The pasta.
delicious.
And the wine.
And the history.
And the history of the buildings. There are so many old buildings there.
And the fact that fashion, you know, let's face it, Rome, Milan, Sicily, Genoa,
Turin,
Turin,
capital
Capri.
of fashion.
Capri, Athens. Wait, that's in Greece.
That's the grace.
Yeah. So, no, a wonderful backdrop to place this movie, and which gives it scope, and Ben really made it kind of look spectacular.
Yeah. We were there for 2 years making this movie.
My wife gave birth to our third child on the steps of the Colosseum.
Because she's a professional too.
She is. And we named him
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo.
I think that's a great name. 15 years ago, were you able to gauge from the fans why the film became such a cult everywhere?
Honestly speaking, no. I think the movie came out and there was kind of a small following, you know, it was first in theaters, but it was just kind of one of these things that grew in stature over the years through people watching it you know, on DVD and on cable, and and I think that's what kind of led to, you know, Ben kind of thinking, oh, there's such a following for it now, maybe let's think about doing a sequel.
He took his time.
He took his time. It's like a fine wine. You don't want to drink it right away.
Unless you just need,
Unless you
need
need
to add
it,
a day.
Or unless you need wine for a sauce or some sort of recipe.
Or the pasta.
Yeah, or the pasta, thank you.
So you can't eat pasta without wine. I mean, just
No.
it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any, no.
Nope. Won't ever do it.
I won't. I know you
I
won't.
won't.
There's some other people in this room who would,
Yeah.
but they don't, what do they know?
I'm pregnant, but I drink wine anyway. You know?
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's a
yeah.
whole other thing.
Yeah.
Well, you stay away from pasta, I hope.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
good, 'cause the
Whoever eats
gluten
carbs
is-
when they're
the
pregnant.
gluten is-
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the cameos. What can you reveal about people around you in that movie that
There are
in and
some
out?
amazing cameos
Yes.
from the world of fashion. All these top line designers, which I was skeptical they were actually going to show up, but they did, and are willing to really make fun of themselves, and which is great. And then there's
People from the music world.
music world,
Acting world.
acting world.
Architects.
There's some
Famous
really
arch-
famous architects. Richard Meyer. Sorry.
Spoiler.
Well, we can talk about Justin
Famous
Bieber because he's
dancers.
in the trailer. So, are you believers?
Yes.
I am, 100%.
To the day I die.
Number one.
No, right below me.
Oh, number two.
Get it?
Right below me.
And let's talk about Ben Stiller, who you've both worked with many times. I mean, can you count how many times you were together in a film, all of you? But I mean, what do you like most about him as a comedian and as a director?
He's very specific in what he wants to do, and you feel very safe when you're on set because you just feel like everything's taken care of, and he thinks of every aspect of the film, the sets, the costumes, the makeup. He's involved in everything, and which I like because, yeah, you just feel like you have someone leading you, and and it's also fun.
Yeah.
Is that a good? I don't know.
That's
That's
great.
great.
Thanks.
Complete answer.
I feel safe. I feel really safe with him as a director. I don't feel safe with him because he loves sport fishing, and he'll take you out on his boat and he'll go, let's go fish for marlins, and we're like, great, okay, but it'll be like, Ben, there's 100-foot waves out there today. He's
Yeah.
like, don't worry about it, and you're out there, and he doesn't really know how to drive the boat or anything, and it's
No life jackets.
terrifying.